Yes, how's it going? Here we have the InfinityMice Ruin, their brand new limited edition speed pad. So the Ruin is very similar to the Speed V2, which I already did a review of and love that pad, so I won't be going as in depth with this review, but I still want to talk about this pad because it is different and it is unique and I really like this one. So of course the standout with this limited edition pad is the artwork. As you can see, this design is really nice. It still has like that anime sort of aesthetic here, but it's not just the usual anime girl center of the pad. There's a design, you know what I mean? There's some scenery here. You got the mecha here, the buildings. They're just aesthetic of the artwork is really nice. Like I love the snow. It just looks so nice. So yeah, this design really stands out on the desk just because of how unique it is and how nice it just looks in general. So the only bit of InfinityMice branding on the actual design itself, it's just bottom right we have the InfinityMice logo. It's not over it, it's just in the design printed on, so you're not going to have any issues with that at all. Okay, so before we get into how the pad feels, I want to talk about just the specs of the pad. So of course, InfinityMice standard, you get the two different sizing options. You get the extra large 490 x 420, and then you have the extra large square, which is 490 by 490, which is what I opted to get because I love the square size, and they don't charge extra for a square size, which I just think is a really nice thing to do. So the pad itself is 4 thick, and you might think that's a bit thick, but actually the pad is really soft. Like the base of this pad is the softest base I've ever used ever. Like, it's incredibly plushy. Of course, the Ruin is using InfinityMice's soft IPU Plus base. This base is perfect. I've already said it in my Speed V2 review that this is my favourite base ever. Like, it's so nice, but the Ruin uses this really soft base, and it's so soft. You can really dig into this pad. It's so plushy. Of course, I've had no issues with the pad moving at all when playing. This is a really sticky base, like nothing wrong with it. It works, does the job. It's not going to move at all. So the pad comes flat packed as usual, as InfinityMice standard. You get this box with the artwork on it as well. I think this is the artist, shout out to them, really nice design. But you get the flat package, the mouse pad is safe, it looks nice, you can put it on the wall, it looks beautiful. And the great thing also about this limited edition pad is InfinityMice brought back the cards, so you get a nice card with your mouse pad, which I think is really sick. I got this nice one. There's one card that is like one of one, but I've not seen it around on Twitter yet. I don't think it's been found. So go over to the pad, try and find the card. But I got this one and I think it looks quite nice. I just have it. Nice little collectible here. You guys know I actually love it when companies like provide something, just like a card or a sticker, just so give me something like unique like that. It just brings the experience together, I guess. Okay, so of course the stitching on this pad is the low profile InfinityMice stitching we're used to at this point. You don't feel it, you don't go over it, it's like perfect, no fraying issues whatsoever. It works, it's nice, it's like perfect really. So the surface of this pad is the big difference between this and the Speed V2. Of course the design as well, but it's really just the surface. I think it's due to the design, but the surface of this pad is so much smoother than the Speed V2. You still get like some really nice speed, but the surface is just a lot smoother going over it than the Speed V2 is. The Speed V2 is that like textured abrasive surface. This is just smooth, really smooth. I like it a lot. Now the pad is not as fast as the Speed V2, probably due to this, but it's still like a really fast speed pad. But it also kind of works as you get a bit more control, and due to like the soft base, you can really like dig into the pad and do them small micros, which provides like a nice balance really from the fast speed glides and then the stopping power into small micros. It really works and gives this pad something. See here, we could do some glide tests. Here is the Ghost Glide Edge Runner skates. Here we have some unreleased speed skates as well. And here we have some cyclone dots. So you can see all types of skates really provide that nice glide. Some of them of course offering more control like the cyclone dots, but you're still getting a really fast pad here that offers that bit more control than something like a Speed V2 or Raiden. So a pad I think this is really similar to is actually the Lamzu Energon. They both have those smooth surfaces. I'd say the Energon is slightly more smoother, but they're both really similar. The Energon is more controlled, but they're both extremely similar pads. The InfinityMice is also a lot better quality, so if you're thinking about getting the Energon, get the Rune instead. And of course the Speed V2, my favourite pad. You can see here the Speed V2 is just faster, but that's due to the different surfaces and the softness of the Rune compared to my mid Speed V2 is making a big difference here. So now of course if we test it with some sleeves, we have the wall hack sleeve, which doesn't work on the Rune. It's the same with the Speed V2, the same with other textured surfaces. Although the Rune is smooth, you still have that bit of texture when you're going over it like this, and the wall hack sleeve is just not going to work. So we have the Focus X Aim Lab sleeve, and this is much better, but there's definitely a difference on the Y and X axis that you feel, and it's still not like the best experience. You can feel that friction when you're moving over. And by far the best experience I've had on this pad is the Ghost Glide's Second Skin sleeve. This sleeve works so well on textured surfaces, and the Rune's no different. It just works. I don't feel friction at all. There's of course a slight difference on X and Y axis, but that is what it is. It's chill, because the sleeve just works fine on this pad. So I wanted to talk a bit about how this pad actually performs in games and stuff. So of course in Kovacs you can use this pad for like any scenario. I use speed pads in general for Kovacs. I'm maining the Speed V2, and I think the speed just helps bring out your actual raw aim. This pad really works for static due to you can flick really fast on this pad speed surface, but because of the soft base and that extra bit of control you get, you can micro faster onto the target. And of course this is going to be really nice for tracking scenarios and reactive, just because you can really feel that smooth surface when you're gliding here. This pad is going to work in TAC FPS games like CSGO, Valorant, but it is probably better for more tracking heavy games like X Defiant, where you're going to be doing these long tracking motions on the pad. So that's going to be it for this review. It wasn't as in depth as the Speed V2 review. Go check that out if you want like a bigger picture of what the pad is like. But this pad is solid. It is limited edition, so if you do like the look of it, go get it quickly before it ends up selling out and you won't be able to get it for a good price. But I hope you enjoyed it. In a bit.